Hello everyone, this is Arkady from JoyT5, and today we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of this Rippa R18 and JoyT5 JT5200 2-ton excavator. Historically, JT5200 is our most popular model we sell. We have lots of contractors and acreage owners that use them, and we have great feedback about this machine. And now Rippa introduced their R18, which is their flagship model in the same class. And we decided to do this side-by-side comparison to show you what are the differences. Because at the first glance, machines are very similar. They both have same Kubota D902 engine, same variable displacement piston pump with 42 liters per minute flow. But why is R18 more expensive? Well, we'll show you why. We'll start our comparison at the bottom, and the first thing we're going to take a look at is the undercarriage of these machines. Here is a close-up of the JT5200 track and undercarriage. Here's a close-up of the R18 track and undercarriage. Here are the differences that we noticed. The width of tracks on both machines are the same, but the length is different. Here are the measurements. JT5200's length of tracks is about 140 centimeters, while R18 is about 160. 20 centimeters is a big difference when you're going to be digging, as the longer your tracks, the more stability you're going to have. Next difference is the walking motors. Both machines have double-speed travel motors, which are enclosed and they're triple hose. However, the R18's motor has a larger diameter than the JT5200's. Here are the measurements. Next difference is the extra anchor points on the sides of the undercarriage that we can see on the R18, which are not present on the 5200. Next difference is the number of limit bolts. They are required to stop the tracks from extending beyond the 130 centimeters maximum width. On the JT5200, we have one limit bolt at the center, which works great, but it does not allow for the adjustment on the track alignment to make sure the tracks are parallel to each other. On the R18, we have two limit bolts on each side, one up front, one in the back, and that allows us to also align the tracks and adjust them if required. Next difference is the length of the dozer blade. Here are the measurements. R18 has about 30 centimeters longer blade than the JT5200. This is going to be very important when you're trying to lift something or you want to get more stability when digging. We saw it very clearly in our video where we did the lift test with the JT5200. When you put the blade down, it extends your pivot point farther away from the machine, and you can lift significantly more. Subscribe to our channel, and we will do another video with the R18 where we will test its lifting capacity. And at this point, I believe that R18 will be able to lift more than JT5200. So let's wait and see. Now let's move up and take a look at the houses of both machines. Here is the close-up of the house for JT5200. Here is a close-up of the R18 house. The extra counterweight will give you additional stability during digging, which is very important. It's a great benefit. Having said that, it also extends the rear of the house, and when the R18 swings 90 degrees, that counterweight will stick out beyond the tracks. Now, in most situations, it's no big deal, but if you're working in tight quarters and you want to make sure that the rear of your machine will not stick beyond the tracks, JT5200 will have an advantage here. Next difference is the side swing boom assembly. The JT5200 has the cast steel on both the house side and on the boom side, while the R18 has the cast steel piece only on the boom side. Here is a close-up of the JT5200 side swing boom. Here is a close-up of the R18 side swing boom. Now, let's take a look at the booms of both machines. These machines are in the same weight, and to us, the booms, they look virtually the same. There are some minor differences with the hoses and how they have been routed. Here's a close-up of the JT5200 boom. Here's a close-up of the R18 boom. Now, let's take a look at the engine compartment access. Here's a JT5200 engine compartment. It has the same engine, Kubota D902. Inside we have our battery switch. If you look over there, that shiny lever, when you pull it, you will be able to flip the seat up. Here's what we can see when the seat is flipped up. And then to get access to the top of the engine, we would have to take off these 4 bolts. The R18 engine compartment door has this catch that will prevent the door from closing. So right now it just stays in one place. To close the door, you'd have to lift it up and pull it, the door. It does seem to have more access to the engine. And then the lever to flip up the seat is a lot easier to access from here. When the seat is up, there is no need to take off any plates with bind screw and bolts. You get easy access to the top of the engine, and it's the same engine as the JT5200 Kubota D902, but it is flipped the other way around. That is why your engine oil dipstick is actually over there. If you can see it. So in order to check your engine oil, you would have to flip the seat up. Now, let's take a closer look at the interior of these machines. Here's a close-up of the JT5200 interior. These pedals for the side swing boom and the hydraulic thumb, they are mechanical linkages directly into the multi-valve. And there is a bit of play here just because it is a mechanical linkage. And they are a lot harder to press than the pilot versions. Same thing with the walking sticks. It is all mechanical. On this side, we have our lights, high and low speed, extendable tracks, and quick hitch button. On this side is our instrument cluster and the ignition. This lever is for a dozer blade and extendable tracks. The selector depends on in which position you have your extendable tracks switch. The seat has a regular seat belt that does not retract by itself. Here's a close-up of the R18 interior. The pedals for the side spin boom and hydraulic thumb, they are pilots. They're very smooth and easy to press. I can even do it with one finger. The walking sticks are pilots as well. They have full-size pedals and they don't have any play. They're also very, very smooth to operate. On this side, we have selectors for 2 sets of lights, one on top of the cab, one on the boom, and then your high and low gear for the walking motors. The seat is a bit different, and it comes with integrated seat belt that's self-retracting. Keep it out of the way. Here we have our ignition key, the quick hitch, and 2 levers, one for the blade, one for extendable tracks. The reason why Rippa separated is that on the 5200, you have a switch that controls the diverter valve, and when you extend the tracks all the way out and you continue to push the blade or the lever, the blade will start to move. At that point, we'll show it to you. With this setup that we have on R18, that will not happen because now the extendable tracks and the side spin boom are independent of each other. And then also we have this huge LCD screen. Here's a close-up of the screen. Let's turn the key. So on the screen, we'll be able to see our RPMs, our battery volts, our hour meter, the engine temperature, plus the time, and then selector of which gear we have, slow or high. Plus we have a button for our backup camera. The backup camera will engage by itself when you pull the levers back when you're driving. Very handy. Then here we can go to see more options. And we can play some tunes with the radio or go into the connected Bluetooth to the speakers that we have in this machine. Settings, you can change the language. This machine is already translated into Chinese, English, German, French, Russian, and Italian. We'll keep it in English. There's a lot more stuff to play in. And let's see if the radio works. I need to find the radio station, and I don't know which one to choose. So, not the best sound quality, but it does work. Then we'll go to back to the instrument panel. Now, when I'm going to start the machine, so first I'm going to glow plug it, so I'm turning it off. And I'm going to start it. So as you see, we can see our RPMs. I will try to adjust the RPMs just to show that they are moving. Oops, apologize for that. Now let's take a look at the cage structure. Here's a close-up of the JT5200 cage. It has a plastic roof. Here's a close-up of the R18 cage. Besides the obvious differences that the R18 has the protective screen in the front, it has extra set of lights, it also has the higher diameter tubes for the cage, and the cage feels a lot more sturdier than the JT5200. The other difference is your hydraulic lockout. On the R18, when you lift the lever to lock the hydraulics, you will actually lock all the functions, including the side spin boom, hydraulic thumb, and the walk-in levers, because they are pilots. On the JT5200, that is not the case, because your side spin boom, hydraulic thumb, and walk-in levers are direct link to the multi valve. The hydraulic lock isn't able to disconnect them. You will only disconnect your joysticks. This can be a safety consideration depending on what environment you operate the machine in. Another thing that we noticed is when you drive in the R18 and JT5200, R18 feels to drive slower. To test it, we will actually do a side-by-side race where we'll see which machine drives faster and then think of what could be the possible explanations for the differences, because both machines have same hydraulic pump and same diesel engine. All right, we position the machines for the race. We will measure based on the edges of the blade, because these machines have different lengths of tracks and different lengths of blades. So it's going to be the edge. And we will put the machines all on the highest throttle level possible, and then just push the walk-in levers forward. First, we'll do it in the low gear, and then we'll do it in the high gear. All right, Matt, let's start the engines, and then we'll start the race on a count of 3. We'll put it in the max throttle. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now we'll repeat it on the high speed. Matt, let's start the engines. Turn on the high speed. Give it max throttle. And now, 1, 2, 3. We hoped you liked this video. Hopefully you can find more differences between these two machines. Please add a comment and tell what we didn't notice in this video. If you're going to have any questions about JoyT5 or Rippa equipment, such as excavators, skid steers, wheel loaders, attachments, please visit JoyT5.com or give a call to one of our dealers. And as always, like this video and subscribe. Thank you for watching.